On May 3, 2007, in a quiet holiday resort town in southern Portugal, a 3-year-old British girl vanished without a trace. Her name was Madeleine McCann. What began as a family vacation turned into one of the most famous missing person cases in modern history. Nearly 2 decades later, the world is still asking the same question. What really happened to Madeleine McCann? Tonight, we examine the full case, the disappearance, the investigations, the suspects, the evidence, and the unanswered questions that continue to haunt this story. On the evening of May 3, 2007, Kate and Gary McCann were dining with friends at a tapas restaurant inside the Ocean Club Resort in Praia da Luz, Portugal. Their 3 children, Madeleine and her 2-year-old twin siblings, were asleep in their ground floor apartment, approximately 50 meters away from the restaurant. Throughout the evening, the parents took turns checking on the children. At approximately 10 p.m., Kate McCann went to check on them. When she entered the apartment, Madeleine was gone. The window in the bedroom was open. The shutters were raised. There were no immediate signs of forced entry. Madeleine McCann had vanished. Within minutes, resort staff and guests began searching the area. Police were called. Roadblocks were eventually set up, but those crucial early hours would later be heavily criticized. Portuguese authorities launched a massive investigation. Search teams combed the surrounding areas. Sniffer dogs were brought in. Interviews were conducted. Hundreds of leads were pursued. Early on, police considered the possibility of abduction. But as days turned into weeks, the investigation shifted. In May 2007, a British-Portuguese man named Robert Moura was named an official suspect, or arguido. He denied involvement. Months later, he was cleared due to lack of evidence. Then, in a shocking turn, Kate and Gary McCann themselves were named official suspects in September 2007. The decision was based largely on forensic dog alerts inside the apartment and in a rental car the family had used weeks after the disappearance. Portuguese police theorized that Madeleine may have died accidentally in the apartment and that her parents staged an abduction. The McCanns strongly denied this. No charges were ever filed. In July 2008, due to insufficient evidence, Portuguese authorities archived the case. Madeleine was still missing. In 2011, the British government authorized a new investigation led by London's Metropolitan Police. The operation was called Operation GRANGE. British investigators re-examined all available evidence. They reconstructed timelines. They reviewed thousands of documents. They pursued new persons of interest. The investigation cost millions of pounds over the years. Despite renewed efforts, no conclusive breakthrough emerged. The case remained open, but answers remained elusive. In 2020, more than 13 years after Madeleine disappeared, German authorities made a major announcement. They had identified a new prime suspect. His name, Christian Brueckner, a German national with a long criminal record. Brueckner had lived in the Algarve region of Portugal around the time of Madeleine's disappearance. He had prior convictions for sexual offenses and burglary. German prosecutors stated that they believed Madeleine McCann was dead. They suspected Brueckner was responsible. Cell phone data placed him near Praia da Luz on the night Madeleine vanished. Witnesses reported that he had spoken about the case in suspicious ways. During searches of properties linked to him, investigators reportedly found disturbing materials, including child abuse content and other criminal evidence. However, no direct forensic evidence linking him to Madeleine has been publicly presented in court. Brueckner has denied involvement. he has not been formally charged in connection with Madeleine McCann's disappearance. In 2023, 2024, and 2025, new coordinated searches took place in Portugal. German and Portuguese authorities focused on remote areas, reservoirs, and rural properties. Advanced technology was used, including ground-penetrating radar and excavation equipment. Items were reportedly collected for forensic analysis, fragments of material, possible bone samples, other objects of interest. But as of early 2026, no confirmed physical evidence has been publicly linked to Madeleine. Meanwhile, BRUECKNER was serving a prison sentence in Germany for the 2005 rape of a 72-year-old American woman in Portugal. His scheduled release has raised concerns among investigators and the public. German prosecutors have stated they are working to build a prosecutable case. But without definitive forensic proof, the legal threshold remains high. Over the years, multiple theories have circulated. The abduction theory remains the most widely supported by authorities today, particularly involving a known sex offender operating in the area. Another theory, originally proposed by former Portuguese detective Goncalo Amaral, suggested that Madeleine died accidentally and that her parents concealed her death. This claim led to legal battles between Amaral and the McCann family. Courts ultimately ruled in favor of the parents in defamation disputes. There have also been fringe theories involving trafficking networks and unrelated high-profile criminal cases. However, none of these alternative claims have been substantiated with credible evidence. Despite years of speculation, one fact remains. There is no confirmed forensic proof explaining exactly what happened. No body has ever been found. No one has been convicted. The disappearance of Madeleine McCann changed international awareness about child safety while traveling. Her case became one of the most reported missing person cases in history. It sparked worldwide media attention, documentaries, books, global campaigns. Her parents continued searching for answers year after year, maintaining hope while navigating intense public scrutiny. The case also exposed investigative challenges in cross-border cooperation between countries: Portugal, the United Kingdom, Germany. 3 nations, one unsolved mystery. As of 2026, the case remains officially unsolved. German prosecutors continue to identify Christian Bruckner as the main suspect. But without charges directly tied to Madeleine's disappearance, the case remains legally open. Investigators maintain that the investigation is ongoing. The McCann family continues to mark each anniversary, and the world continues to wonder. What happened in that apartment on May 3, 2007? Was it a carefully planned abduction, a crime of opportunity, or something else entirely? Nearly 20 years later, Madeleine McCann's face is still recognized across the globe, a symbol of loss, a symbol of unanswered questions, a reminder that some mysteries endure despite years of investigation. Until definitive evidence emerges, the disappearance of Madeleine McCann remains one of the most haunting unsolved cases of the 21st century. If new updates emerge, this story continues. Before we close, take a moment to reflect on this story. The disappearance of Madeleine McCann is more than a headline. It's a reminder that behind every unsolved case, there is a family still waiting for answers. Stories like this deserve to be told carefully, respectfully, and truthfully. If you found this documentary informative and thoughtfully presented, consider supporting the channel. Subscribe so you don't miss future deep dives into complex and important cases. And if you believe this story should continue to be discussed, Share this video with others. Your support helps us continue researching, producing, and telling stories that matter. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next investigation.